Alright guys, what's up? This is Kaz Dragon Slayer. Basically what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be going over a Shao Khan guide. Basically going to go in depth on how to use Shao Khan. A lot of controversy over whether he's, A tier, low tier. Personally I don't really think A tier or tiers matter. But ever since Sonic put him at A tier, everybody's been losing their minds. As with a lot of his characters, but I'm just going to go over it and maybe you'll learn something new, maybe you won't. Maybe it's stuff you already know. And there's a spider in front of my face. Okay, so we're just going to real quick see if I got that. Okay, so we're going to get real quick go over his frame data. A lot of this should be basics and should be stuff that a lot of people know, but his stand 1 is +3. So you can stagger this string in some of his main strings. It is a high, so I wouldn't recommend using it as a meaty until you condition. His down 1 is a 7 frame down 1, -4 on block. He has a 10 frame standing 2, which is -3. Again, another staggerable string that you can use after conditioning. His back 2 is a mid. I personally don't think it's that good, especially when you have his forward 3-4. But his back 2 is pretty useful if you're going for forward. You want to mix it up instead of going into mids. Back it up and go in for the mid to punish them pushing buttons. Pretty useful. His forward 2 is pretty good string. A lot of people say it's it's trash, it's readable, it's whatever, but I use it a lot and it catches a lot of people. Yeah, I've played some good players with it. I played Shootinky Dink. I played Bremo and Revit Leafing, and a lot of them still block this string. String I think is very good. It's hit confirmable. You see the distance on it. It's crazy. It's definitely a good whiff punish tool, even though it's slow. And I mainly use it for corner. I'll get into that a little bit later. His down 1, or his down 2, sorry, is pretty dumb. It's a 9 frame down 2, and the distance is crazy. And the pushback, obviously the pushback, but very good anti-air. Just pretty good chipped. It's crazy. His standing 3 is not really used. I mean it's -1, but I don't really think anybody uses this. Not even in combos, especially since you have a standing 4. Now you can already see the difference in the damage. It's 7-5 on block. This is 10-5, so his back 3 is a pretty good tool. I like to throw it out there every once in a while, especially if I get jumped at. You see, it's another huge distance covering tool. It is pretty it's -17, but you keep it at a good distance. It's hard to punish, especially if your character's got like almost no reach. And you can combo off of it, as with a lot of strings. I'll get into that a little later when I'll start show some combos. Okay. His down 3, not as good as his down 1, but it does lead into annihilation, which is this. This is his down back 3, and it does jail. Same thing with down 1. Same thing with down 4. And it's funny about his down 4. If you want to jail it, it keeps you safe, because the pushback on this low, it's pretty dope. And if you try to push a button, you're gonna get hit. Freaking input shortcuts. So his down 4 is really good, and it's -5. No, sorry, I'm dumb. It's -8, but it is 10 frames, which is not bad for a down 4 that reaches that far. Okay, he's got his standing 4, very useful in combos, but not really useful in staggering or pressuring any, because it is a high and you will get poked out of it if you don't condition people. His hammer slammer. This tool is a very good tool. Like you see, it's another far-reaching string. It's -2 on block, so you can throw a poke out there. Even if you mash it, the other person's getting hit. You can go in for pressure. So a lot of people, when they start getting hit with the poke, they'll tend to block. So you can do a lot of crazy stuff off this back 4. And a lot of people do is on hit, they'll jump over and go in for the jump 3, which is really hard to anti-air. So they'll get hit with this. It is a quick knockdown, so you'll get hit and then they'll jump over. I don't care about that. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, he's got some pretty good standard buttons. We'll go over jumping. He does have a pretty weak jump. It is pretty slow, and I tend to try to jump over projectiles. I tend to get hit a lot. But you see, it is a pretty slow jump. It's not very good. But what is good about his jump is he kind of has a Baraka-like jump 3, which is hard to anti-air if you get in the right distance. But what his best tool by far is his jump 2. This thing is crazy range. It's very deceptive. People go into push buttons and they get hit with a hammer. So there is a timing on this. The further you delay it, the harder it is. See, the sooner I push the 2, the better meaty I get. If I can do it right. Jesus. There you go. So his jump 2 is pretty good. Pretty far distance, pretty hard to anti-air, especially considering it's a mid. His quick jumps. Yeah, his quick jump 3-4. It's okay. But what you want to be using is his quick jump 2. This thing has like a lot of his strings are distance based, so Shao, you really want to play distance. Yeah, we can go over some of his strings. So he has his 1-2 string. It is I wouldn't recommend it as a stagger because it is -7 and you will get pressured or poked. Mainly what this is for is the same thing with the stand 1 and the stand 1 or 1-2 2+3. 1-2 1+3 is you make them respect the full string, get them conditioned for this full string, and then you can go in for staggers. And I see a lot of people respecting these staggers once you get them conditioned, so it's a very good tool. This string is staggerable as well. And a lot of these you can stagger into mids if you think they're going to push a button. So that's pretty much his staggers on his 1-2 1+3 string. He does have another string which is his 1-4-2. It ends in an overhead, and the pushback keeps you relatively safe depending on character. It is -9. I don't believe there's anybody that has a far-reaching... There might be, I don't know, I don't play a lot of characters, but if your character has a far-reaching 7-frame move, you can punish that. Or 8-frame, but the 8-frame would be really hard to get the punish down. The stagger is a -3 move. So you can stagger it into other strings. His 2-1 move ends in a low. The stagger on 2-1 is -5. You can continue string for -6 if you want to mix it up, or you can special cancel. His 2-3-2 string is mainly used in combos. Kind of pops them up in the air to be able to get the annihilation, or pops them up in the air to try to get, you know, something else, because a lot of his combos, the more you continue and the quicker they fall. So instead of, sometimes you won't be able to get, you know, his stand 4 out, so you have to use his 2-3 to pop him back up to get the annihilation. -5, -7, pretty decent. A lot of his strings are safe and don't have a lot of gaps in them, or any gaps at all, really. Alright, so his forward 2-1 string, I went over that a little earlier. It's very good at closing distances and whiff punishing. Very good on wake ups too. So what I like to do is, when you get these people in the corner, you get those dudes who, you know, want to press down 1, they want to wake up all the time, or tech roll all the time. What you do is you get the knockdown, back it up a little bit, you can backdash, you can jump back, and, just walk back, which is pretty fast, but I like to backdash a little bit, because backdashes aren't really good in this game, but Shao's got a pretty decent backdash. So you knock him down, you backdash, and then you go in for your forward 2-1 string. For pressure, it's hit confirmable, so you see someone get popped up with it, you go in for the shoulder charge. You can get about, you know, 29% with a bar, which is decent. You can continue the string. It is -15. Doesn't have any pushback and it's punishable. A lot of people use his forward 2-4. It does have a good amount of pushback. It is -16. Yeah. So not a lot of people punish just because of the pushback, but it does end in an overhead, which will sometimes catch people. His forward 3-4 string is his main string. This is the string you're going to want to pressure people with, and for meaties on wake up. It is a string you can stagger. It is -7, so it keeps you safe. It's also very hit confirmable. You see I press 3-4. I see him get hit. You can't special cancel that, but you can continue later. So if I see him get hit, I continue into the grab. A lot of people use this string also after their forward 4, which is +6. So that does jail. A lot of mids will jail. So if I can, that'll jail. I think his back 3 will not. You see +6. +6 and 17 frames of startup, so definitely not something you're gonna want to use. You're gonna want to use his forward 3-4. If you can hit confirm it, you can stagger it, and if you know the person, if they're disrespecting your plus frames, you know they're gonna push a button, you can special cancel the forward 3 into a combo. You can also keep pressure going, just like that. So you know they're going to block. but you don't want them to deal with the stagger. You want something a little bit more safe, a little bit more plus. Then you can use his down back 2. You can also use his overhead lunge for like a kind of a 50-50 mix. I mean, it's not really a 50-50 mix considering both are extremely reactable, but it kind of just makes them think a little bit, I guess. So if you continue the full string, it is punishable. A lot of characters can punish you. I see a lot of people camp, but that'll just come with time. His 4-4 is a high, but it's also +6. Timing on it is a little earlier than his 4-4. Keep the plus aims going if they're respecting you too much. That's pretty much all of his strings. So he's got a lot of good strings. He's got a lot of strings that you can't poke out of. There's no gaps in them. And they're all relatively safe. They either have good pushback or, you know, they're in the realm where you can't do anything but get pressure on them. So I'm going to move to his special moves real quick. His spear is a mid projectile, and it is something you're going to want to trade with versus just throwing it out there. So a lot of people block this, you know, and then it doesn't really do anything for you. So what I usually do is I wait, I look for the projectile, and then I throw the spear to get the trade, and then I lunge in. There's a full screen lunge. You can close the distance very easily. And it is -7, so you're safe. Unless somebody has a 6-frame punish, but you're pretty safe. So you can close the distance against these zoning characters. It is a mid, so if they're full screen like this, they cannot duck it. I've seen people duck it, especially females, when they're kind of close within this range, as you can see that right there. But I mean, nobody really uses the spear at this range. It's kind of useless. So they can duck that. His scum grab is kind of one of those strings that you can use as an anti-air to switch sides. So if your back's to the corner and they want to jump, you can scum grab them, switch them, and put them in the corner. He does have some better anti-airs, but his scum grab is definitely the most fun, considering it kind of looks like Arya in Game of Thrones, where she just jumps at the Night King and just grabs his throat. It is also a string that you can throw it in there every once in a while on block. And what I mean by that is, say you're going to go for this string right here, and you're always putting that string out there, and they're just waiting to block it or flawless block it. And so what you can do is you can kind of just throw that out there and get a down 1 out. It's very deceptive. It's 25 frames of recovery, but if you're not expecting it, you can definitely get your block out in time. Actually, what might be a better idea is I'm going to go here and turn the frame data on. 25 per. I swear to God, it don't look like 25 frames though. This thing is fast. Yep. So you can amplify it, and it gives him a hammer slam. So we're gonna set her off to block, and we're gonna set her movement to jump forward. And you see it's a 12% anti-air, which is okay. You can amplify it and get 17%. Pretty cool move. pretty Shao Khan like. Sorry. Send her back to stand and block all. Okay. His Dark Priest, I'm gonna go over that last. His down back 2 is very good. It's -8, so it can be punished by 7 frames. 7 frame mid or 7 frame down 1. This move. And see, the thing I have a problem with is it says it's -8. But it's -1 on block. So somebody needs to get the frame data right, because frame data says -1, but here it says -8. So I wouldn't really go off of these. I would actually bring up the frame data and practice these strings and see what you really get. His shoulder charge is -20. The pushback on it is pretty good. I wouldn't really call it pushback. It kind of does a step back, and it's very deceptive and very weird to punish. You don't see a lot of people punishing it. You can amplify this for a pop-up and get a combo. You cannot. I wish you could. This would be a really good pressure tool, but I wish you could delay the EX on block like you could on hit, but I don't know what they're thinking. You can also amplify down and it gets you a hard knockdown. So we're going to do stance, that way she can hit spot below. Okay. So you can hit down. So it does 66 and 27 on hit, and it does 66 and 63 when you press the down version of it. Okay. His annihilation move, this is the move I was talking about earlier. You can special cancel your down 1, down 3, and down 4, and it'll jail into this move and they cannot get a poke out. So it is a true down 1 special. Alright, we're gonna set her to off. And this is Shao Kahn's key combo ender, because of the distance that it puts you at. So they can jump at you, they can wake up, and you can back up a little, and you go in for the string, a 2-1. Very good combo ender. Also put you in range for his forward 4 to keep plus frames. Put you in jump in range. I believe it puts you in back 4 range. It's pretty good combo winner. Definitely caters to his spacing. And you can amplify it to get a little bit more damage, but it does put him full screen. Which if you okay. But you can go in for the hammer lunge after. The hammer lunge is a pretty good ender. Like I said, if you do down 4 hammer lunge, it'll go over their poke. And it'll hit them. And it is -7 if you do not EX it. If you EX it, you can get a 15% okay. But if you EX it on block, it is minus 19. And I believe that is true. Minus 19, yes. And if you just keep it safe, minus 7. You know, take the pressure. If you know the character's got slow starters, then going for down ones. And you can choose the range. You can do far, mid, or close. His fatal blow is pretty bad. It's minus 27. Has 25 frames of startup. But it is a good tool for anti-airing. It'll cover about this distance. So if I go here, do 1%, 100. See, it covers a pretty good distance. It's definitely good for anti-airing people's jump-in attempts. So do not jump at Shao Khan when he has his fatal blow. Okay, so now pretty much a lot of the tech, pretty much a lot of the strings. Like I said, he's got some very good strings. Let's see if I can do some combos for you without, you know, fucking it up. We'll keep him at 1%. Set her to stand. No, send her to. Set her off. Okay, so the thing I want to talk about that I didn't get to talk about is his Dark Priest. So this has 83 frames of startup and 82 frames of recovery. It's pretty bad considering you have these teleport characters and you have these characters with these quick projectiles. So it's definitely something you want to throw out after you pop the opponent in the air. And what I mean by that is you want to get the opponent as high as possible before throwing it out, and the best stream to do that off of is his shoulder charge. So his shoulder charge has a 57 hit advantage. And it's 58 frames of hit advantage if you use his 2-1. And I believe that's the most hit advantage you can get. So yeah, it's 58. So what you want to do is, I see a lot of people who will go in for this and then they'll use, you know, they'll use the Dark Priest, but you see how minus you are. You're minus 28 and your cancel advantage is 54 and your distance is not that good, so you don't want to use this string. You want to use this 2-1, throw out the Dark Priest, and it keeps you relatively safe. Obviously it depends on character. Definitely not that. Not that. So I've been messing around with it for a while, and it definitely seems like this is the best way. Because he has a hit advantage of 58 on his... The frame data is not going to tell you this, so I'm going to tell you. His hit advantage off of that is 58, and his startup on the Dark Priest is, I believe, 85. 83. So he has a 58 hit advantage and 83. So that leaves you with 30 frames of recovery when the opponent starts to get up, depending on if they delay their wake up or not. It's not ideal, but it is the so far what I found to be the best way to get your Dark Priest out. It takes so long for this to get, and people can just teleport, punish you, or hit you. Which kind of sucks because this is one of his key damage tools. Just doing a standard string like this. Now 409 with the dark buff out, with Dark Priest buff versus around like 29%. Okay, so those are his special moves. You know, we can do some combos. His key punishing combo is going to be his stand 1. Stand 1 is a 9-frame high. It's his fastest startup, besides his down 1, which is 7 frames. So you're going to want to punish with stand 1. If your back's to the corner, you can punish with this forward 3-4. You know, 1+3, and put them in the corner. If you see people getting caught with this string all day, like they want to try to mash and keep getting hit by mids, just let them do it, because they're gonna eat almost 40% just by 2 of these. So yeah. Okay, so we'll get some combos. Like I said, his punishing combo is his 1-2 or his 1-3. You can see they both do the same amount of damage. 20-28, 20-28. You can get the guaranteed damage, which is about 17%. Or if you want to pop them up and go for bigger damage, you can throw on the shoulder charge. That gets you about 29%. If you want to keep spending 1 bar, that gets you about 27%. So this one is definitely more optimal. That's only if you're spending 1 bar. You can spend 2 bars and you can do it, multiple different ways. You can go in for annihilation again. And you can get around 32. Or you can do his more optimal damage, which is to use 2 shoulder charges combined with his stand 4. To almost 36%, which is pretty good. You suck. Alright. So that's off his 2-1. Sorry, his 1-2. Like I said, his forward 3 is special cancelable. So if you catch someone trying to mash out of your plus frames from your 4-4 or your 4-4, they're going to push buttons. Punish them hard for it. Make sure they don't do it again. You get 35%. Round it up, you get 36. I'm going for the jump 2. 2-3 into annihilation for 29%. If you only want to spend 1 bar. Let's see, those are his 2 main strings. His 2-1 string, hit confirmable, pops them up, gets you, definitely makes it easier to continue the combo. I'm thinking something. I might be crazy, but maybe I am crazy. Maybe it's just because they get hit with a low a lot. But I think his damage got buffed up a little bit. This used to do around 28%. Now it does. Now it does 306. So all these strings you combine with his jump too. It does a decent amount of damage, as you can see, 218 versus his 17. His jump 2 is a 7%. Pretty good. So we're going to do some example. We're going to do 2-1 again. Into 2-3. His in 306. Combine jump 2. And you get about 33%. So a significant damage increase when you land his jump 2. Female hitboxes. %. So those are some of his basic combos. So you can hit confirm off and go forward 2-1. Basically all that string is good for, because you cannot you can but I wouldn't recommend it. Not really a good jumping pressure tool. If you know someone's super plus, or sorry, if you know someone's super negative, so for instance, Scorpion's teleport, you can punish with stand 4. He's almost 40%. Such a simple combo too. Oh my god, the charge. Yep, miss again. .407 for landing in the jump 2. The Shao Khan's damage is definitely not weak. It's pretty balanced. You know, he gets pretty decent amount off one bar, and if you want to spend a second, it makes it worth it. Girlfriend's talking in the background. Okay. Those are some of his basic combos. Shoulder charge, yeah, we went over Dark Priest, scum grab. So you can end some of his combos in, if you're trying to do side switch. Oops. And does 28%, which is pretty decent. About all you're gonna get out of it. You cannot get the scum grab from that distance. Doesn't work. Oops. This is why I hate showing combos, because I always mess them up. Always mess them up. Yeah, you can't combo off that either. So really the best way you're going to get it is you're just going to have to not do the jump in. And just do the side switch. He gets pretty okay damage if you EX them both. You know, 31%. So not bad for 2 bars. It's pretty shitty for 2 bars, honestly, but he does side switching. So another little is more of a gimmick, but it does seem to work sometimes. So if you wanna whiff it, go in for the mid, go in for pressure. A lot of people will see the Hammerlong's whip off that combo. push buttons and then they'll get hit with the mid, and then they get, you know, into +6 pressure. And if you keep using that string and they think you're going to go for the mid, you can go in for free pressure because they'll be expecting the mid and then they'll be hit with, you know, his forward 3-4, which is pretty good. So this move, a really good move. See, it's +40 on hit. Now this move is really good because a lot of people by here, by the jump in, or by this point in the combo, will break away. And so this move is kind of an anti-breakaway setup. Regardless if they break away, it'll still combo. If I can hit it on this damn female. You see? A lot of people will try to push buttons too, and then they'll get hit by the hammer lunge. Or sorry, they'll get hit by the hammer drop. Come down, boom. You're -1. At least that's what the frame data in the bottom says. -1 on block, and I'll show that. We'll go to AI options. We'll set her to block stance. That way she get hits by the way. Come down. Neutral. Sorry, you're neutral on block after that. It takes away the frame, so you're neutral on block. Which means if they don't have anything faster than your down one, you can guarantee the down one. Pretty OP. Or like I said, it works on breakaways. So even though they do the breakaway, if they don't delay wake up, they'll still have to take the hammer lunge or the hammer drop, which is neutral on block, and can guarantee some pretty fast. So those are some of his mid-screen combos. Take her off. Take her off block. Push her to the corner because I'm lazy. I'm gonna go ahead and set this left, set this to refill. So his corner combos are kind of weird. The gravity's kind of weird in it, and like some of his moves don't hit him. So you can do the 2-1. Forward jump on it because the stand jump doesn't combo for some reason. Here goes the back jump. On male characters, this combo works. You can do the 2-1, back 1, and do stand 4, and annihilation, and it'll put you at perfect distance, but that's only on male characters. Like I said, you can do his forward 2-1. You get 29% off this. You get 35%. And what I mean by is when you knock someone down, they typically want to wake up or try to push buttons, especially if you're fighting some, you know, scrub guy out there. But when you knock them down, and back up, going for the forward 1. That usually spaces out most wake ups. Especially annihilation. Bam, back it up, go in. Pretty good. That string is hit confirmable, so don't follow what I said. If you blocks, you can use that. So His lunge is, you can combo off it in the corner. You get pretty decent damage for 1 bar. That double, you cannot double shoulder charge it, so if you want to get more damage out of it, you have to spend the bar on your knowledge. Which isn't really worth it considering how much damage you get for 1 bar. I think that's pretty good, so you probably should just use 1 bar. So that's pretty much the rundown. I mean, he's got some good, you can juggle. This is good for if you're hit confirming a anti-air and you're doing the pickup or the conversion. His jump in, his standing jump too is very good. The distance on this. So you can stand back, let people wake up, and hit him with that. His quick jump 2 is very good. Back 2 is obviously, or back 4 is obviously broken. Off that jump in, with just 1 bar, you get 34%. His standing jump 3 and 4 is pretty much the same. It's very good for baiting wake up so somebody wakes up. 34%. All these wake up attempts you can mix up and, you know, psych the guy out. Mainly when people in the corner, you want to keep your distance as Shao Khan. This can punish wake-ups. Not as useful, I think, as this string, considering you can get more damage off of it. But it is a good tool, especially if they're trying to jump out the corner too much. They will get hit with this. His jumping in the corner is very good. Alright, so now we're going to do a full screen. This is the best combo I found for getting his fatal blow off. So if you want to close out the round, you know they got to break away when you're low on health. 44%. A lot of his fatal blow combos aren't going to do as much as that. And if they do, they're not that much better unless you combine them with a crushing blow. So now we're going to go over his crushing blows, which Shao Khan got the shit end of the deal with the crushing blows. So obviously he has a down 2 crushing blow, which is if you duck a high, duck a throw, punish with down 2, you'll get the crushing blow. So let me set her to all. Reversal mode on. You can combo. That's the combo I typically use. 41% for a bar. Isn't bad. And let's see. So his other crushing blow another one of them, is you have to get 3 spears in 1 round. Once you get the 3 spears, this will crushing blow. And it is 35% when you don't combine it with other strings. But it is a guaranteed non-breakaway 35%. His other crushing blow has to be activated with Dark Priest, and it comes from the Annihilation. That's the best string to use, his back. His back too. You can dash up and get, you know, some other combos, but it's very difficult, especially online. So he does have another crushing blow from his throw. So it triggers on get up. So if you get up and throw somebody, it'll perform the crushing blow, or you can trigger it on a reversal. I know what I have to do, but all you get is like a 30% throw from it. I'm not really going to go through that. I'm sure there's a video elsewhere explaining it. I'm not really too good with this labbing record and stuff. It just doesn't work for me. Alright. So that's basically Shao Khan. Oh, show some of the... Like that is very hard. So what you want to do is, if you have your 3 spears, shit. So we're going to set her to all. She is going to reverse. I'm going to reverse throw. This is going to be hard to do. Okay. Wait there. Try one more time. Oh God. Normally I wouldn't even go for this one, but I'm just trying to show you how much damage it does. I can't. I really can't. This is what I get for trying to show a combo video. Bear with me, bear with me. I'll get it eventually. Or not. This is what I mean by he has a shit end of the deal with this freaking crushing blows. Alright, I'm done. That's pretty much Shao Khan. You can find the crushing blow, and I think Forever King showed it for a while. Alright. Thank you guys for watching.